Hey, what's up? So I just briefly wanted to share a couple comments I came across recently, and oh yeah, somebody the talk about companies, CEOs that want to use AI to make spend less money while making games and stuff like that, to use AI to save money, right? And I say that all the time as part of a lot of different descriptions for companies like, well, we're saving money by using AI, which I don't actually think is a real true thing. Maybe it is. I doubt it though. But that's their excuse. That's the excuse, is that they're cutting costs and whatever, right? So this was a comment in reply, the first comment I came across, and the reason I'm sharing the video is because the reply to this one. So this was a reply to somebody else that left a comment, stating that basically, like, you're not really saving money because you lose customers who don't respect you and want nothing to do with the way your business practices. Your quality drops, and we stop wanting to buy your stuff. That is true. But you look at, I mean, I'll use Ubisoft as an example. Kind of. I mean, I don't even think they're a good one. I actually, yeah, that's a bad example. I was gonna say because there's ups and downs, right? Like, they'll put out a bad game, put out a good game, but you know what? No, most of their games have always been improvements. I mean, they have issues, right? They have issues, but they're improved upon in many ways. So yeah, so that was a bad. I shouldn't have said that, and I don't want to start this over. So whatever. But I've seen plenty of companies too where they do that. The quality drops, and then it comes back up, and then it drops, and then it comes back up. So that can just be a weird situation because, like, sure, they'll lose customers for a little bit, right? But then they'll be back, right? So it just depends. But anyways, so let's see what he says here. What you stated is not how any of this works for billion-dollar companies. They aren't concerned about the people who care now. They're setting this up for future generations that won't care. Young people playing games now do not care, and I've seen this. I know that. When they have children, their children won't care. Bad taste and good taste depends on the parents. Yes, they will lose money from the older crowd, but they will make way more from the people who don't care in the future. And that is a part of normalization over time. That is exactly how it is. Same thing happened with microtransactions, which is the next comment I'm going to bring up. But I like this one where he's bad taste and good taste depends on the parents, and it's not exactly that. But the point there to me is that teach your kids to know the difference between like scams and that kind of a thing. One of my I learned about scams when I was like 14 years old, which is kind of a late age, but at the same time, for a younger person back then, scams weren't as common. Scams were for the adults back then. you know um, but now with the internet, scams are for literally anybody that can get online. But my mom, I had won a giveaway at some point, from the internet, and I didn't even know how I won. Right, a pop up came up saying you won, congratulations, and that was my first experience. My mom was like, "Did you enter a giveaway?" And I said no, and she goes, "No, that's not going to be legit." And there was more to the conversation, but that was one of my first experience with the scam, and I thought, and I always think about that. It's funny. Um, but anyways, so yeah, part of it is you just have to be aware of these things in order to kind of maybe not fight back exactly, but to not be a part of it if you can avoid it, kind of a thing. But an example of that would be like me. It makes sense to me not to buy games that include microtransactions, not even to play them at all, right? That makes sense to me. But I actually like those games, so I'm just like, like, sure, I could, decide with my wallet or whatever the heck, but that's not, I want to play that game. So yeah, I can talk about it. I can say I hate these things. These microtransactions are bullcrap. Everything is overpriced. It's all nonsense. It's garbage. But I'm still going to play the game because I like the game, right? So that's a little funky. I'm not fighting back in that sense, right? Anyways, let's take a look at the other comment, the reply to that one. Unfortunately, you are correct. They are focused on the long game. It was the same thing with microtransactions that eventually morphed for some developers into pay-to-win schemes. I don't think they morphed into pay-to-win schemes. They always were. It's just greed, and sure, pay-to-win, but it's from the same. To me, it's from the same thought. The same thing is just give me your money, and pay-to-win doesn't matter. It's just give me your money, give me your money. We've got customs, we got everything, whatever. Got weapon skins. Anyways. My daughter, for example, she has grown up with her friends all playing Fortnite, Roblox, etc., and has no real concept that items used to be earned through gameplay and were not an additional expense. For her, gaming is live service and cosmetic or pay to win microtransactions because that's all she has ever known. It's 100%. And one thing I wonder about this has this. He's talking about his daughter, which I think maybe he's doing that online because maybe he has tried talking to his daughter, and his daughter just can't get it, doesn't understand because it's not from our world. But maybe he hasn't talked to her. But I wonder. It makes me think, like, are you talking to your daughter and actually explaining to her these things and why that's bad, and she, just forget that crap, forget the extra, costs and stuff. I think this is something I've thought about quite a bit, is like, how do parents, I wonder this because I think about it, like I do, like I know I can control myself with microtransactions and DLC and stuff, but I wonder, how do parents handle that? How do parents allow their kids to play these types of games that have these extra costs and stuff built into them? And how do they discuss it with them and help them understand, you can't buy these things, we're not going to buy these for you, ignore them, forget they're there, or whatever, right? And do they also explain to them how overpriced that and ridiculous that is, how ludicrous these prices are for these skins? It's just stupid. So I wonder about that, because it's it is sad to me to like, I know that it's normal for these kids, and I remember hearing about it when I was a kid. It's always the same cycle. Always, these things change, these things normalize, and it just keeps cycling, all in towards certain things that are planned out 50 years ahead of time, for real. 20 years, 10-year plan, 20-year plan, 30-year plan, 40-year plan, 50-year plan, 100-year plan. Seriously, that's real. So these things happen. It is a continued process, that just normalizes, and the way it's normalized is through simple things, small things, that are into bigger, wider stuff, but they're just basic normal things that normal people have to deal with. For example, right now, it's a lot of stores, certain ones, but you go to a store, my entire life there's been cameras everywhere, right? So that's not a new thing. The surveillance state, right? That's not a new thing. Let me do this just because I wasn't expecting to do this and go on and talk about that, but so that part was normal for me, even growing up, cameras everywhere. But now we're entering the sort of phase that we're trying to normalize bioscans. That's the new normal. They're passing slowly. What else was, I know there's a couple things. Oh, the like QR codes, and that's normal. But nope, everybody uses their apps for everything, and it drives me nuts, dude. I don't know about you, but I can't stand the whole idea that I can't get a good deal at a store or a restaurant unless I have a phone to use an app. Why? Just give me the damn deal, stupid. Like, why do I have to have an app? Because that's the normalization of forcing you onto the phone. That is normalization. That's how it works. You're forced into this system. You're forced into it because everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. So the only way to avoid it is to not participate in those, like, restaurants, those grocery stores, stuff like that, right? That's the only way. I would prefer to go after the bad guys, like, directly. The idea makes sense to me. Go stop these madmen. Go stop these insane lunatics. That makes more sense to me. Go stop these fucking demons. Sorry, like, that makes more sense to me. But it's also not realistic for me. and I, look, I don't want to get into it, but I have thought, like, I would lose myself. I'm already lost, but I would be gone. I would, in a different sense than I have been before. I couldn't be me anymore if I were to do something like that. I couldn't be. There would be, you talk about, like, not going back to normal. That's a different kind of thing. And it makes sense to me. And I want to do it, but I also don't want to do it because that's not a life I want to live, or try to live. It's, like, yeah, I want justice. Yes. But to actually attempt something like that is pretty out, it's so weird because, like, it makes sense. It makes sense, man. I mean, it's in our stories, our heroes, in all these comic books, cartoons, movies, video games, everything. Assassin's Creed, Shadows, man. All of these stories, all of them have their heroes that have to kill the freaking bad guy. But in real life, that's different. And understandably, like, do you really want to kill some, like, literally, like, I do, these certain people? Yes. So, yeah, do I want to? Yes. Like, right? I'm not going to lie about that. Am I planning it? No, I can't. I like, and it's not even just like a being unable to actually, like, plan something like that out. I don't have the resources, the money, what, this and that, I don't have the training, whatever kind of stuff. But it's also, like, really, truly, I would have to go down a path that turns me into a demon as well. And I am a demon sort of in a verbal way, because I'm really pissed off and I'm expressing and I'm lashing out at everybody. So yeah, I'm being a super a-hole, right? Not everywhere, but like, sometimes, often, actually. Yeah, I mean, I lash out at people because I'm just sick of it, man. I'm sick of the bullcrap, and I'm not gonna do it. But also because I'm because I messed up so badly, so badly, with the fake pandemic. But yeah, so I am, still mad at myself, but I know who the real enemy is, and I'm way more mad at them than anybody else. Yeah. Anyways, so again, didn't mean to go into that thing. It's just, it is a part of it. It's a part of my thought process with this stuff. And it is not easy to say exactly, because it can't, people, it might trip some people out, right? Like, oh, what did he say? Oh, he wants to kill someone. Oh. Like, it's like, dude, I'm just being honest. I'm not actually like telling this plan or anything, I'm just like, it's an honest feeling, an honest thought, in response to evil. Okay, right? That's all, man. Like, anyways, yeah. Anyway, so the normalization of these things is pretty crazy. It does take time. I have literally witnessed it throughout my life, and I didn't realize it before. I didn't know, because I didn't know these things, these plans. I hadn't really looked into them. I heard of them. I heard lots of things when I was young, but like most people will be, oh, that can't be real. That's a conspiracy theory, or what, like, it's too insane to really believe and understand that, yeah, yeah, that's pretty damn real. Now, some of it may be embellishment, and flat out lies and all kinds of crazy, just to really mess with our heads. Like, that's possible, but there is an actual history, specifically, like, to keep it realistic and not get into demonic, like, crazy nonsense of just insanity and evil. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even say it, right? Like, can't even, it's too much. It's deeply insane. But there is a history of these people that are connected with each other. There is a history of the money, and not just a history of money, but the current money. Like, if you actually look into the money of these things, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling too much, and I can't give details because I don't even want to go there. I'm just saying, like, you could look into the money, and I'm gonna go now. All right, I just want to talk about the normalization of stuff. It's really weird. It's crazy. It sucks. So the only realistic thing I think most normies can do is to just not be a part of that, and it's not easy. Like, I'm not out of it. I'm stuck in it. I'm trapped in it. I cannot get out. I'm out of the city, which I love. That's nice, but as far as everything's corporations, man. Like, it's been like that, and that's how it always has been. The small businesses get destroyed at some point. That last thing a few years ago did just that. And I remember it happened before. It's happened multiple times in my own life. And I remember reading about it, seeing it before, but not understanding, not looking into it. And not, because I remember it was talk even in the 90s, and I think the 80s too, when small businesses were just getting wiped out because of certain policies and just nonsense going on. Even back then. And all right, this has gone too much. I thought it was interesting because, like, yeah, I'll never forget. I've talked about it too with video games. Like, we used to get these as rewards for beating the game or beating levels. Beating a level would unlock a new costume for you, and games still exist that do that. That's really cool. Marvel Spider-Man is a perfect example of that. Really cool, even though they did piss me off with their little cosmetic skins with Spider-Man 2. They did add some. They added like a little deluxe pack or whatever of skins that you don't get from the game. Um, so that's always annoying. They didn't do it with the first game or Miles Morales. I don't think, anyways. Maybe they did do it with Miles Morales. I can't remember for sure now. But that was frustrating to see happen. But the cool thing is at least they give you like lots of in-game rewards, lots of them without having to pay extra money for them. So that's cool. I have a problem with Assassin's Creed series as far as their cosmetics in the store because they're all way better than the stuff you can earn from playing the game. All of them are they're vastly better. The visuals and the coolness of them is so much better than anything you get in the game. And you can get cool stuff in the games, right? Like Origins had some really cool things that were free included with the game. But in comparison, like the shop items are way better. And that's on purpose. That is on purpose. They are screwing you the hell over to make you pay more money because they know you want it. Let's screw them so they want to give us more money. That's exactly what it is. It's not anything else. Screw them over so that they'll give us more money. That's all it is, man. Anyways, gosh, I will talk to you later. Bye bye.